So we'll give these a bit of a spray with some brake clean while we're including the linings. Good, I've got this box. You can see all the rubbish coming off it. So let that drain. Right. Now I'm going to get some caliper grease. And a rag. Right. We'll get a bit of caliper grease. And you don't want to put you don't want to put a lot of this grease on. Give this a bit of a wipe. And then we'll put some caliper grease on here. Now these, obviously there's two different, one will be too tight. That's it there. Okay, so just run it in and out a few times so it's nice and smooth, and you should be able to bounce it back like that. Okay, so what we've got to do now is flick this off down below the level of the pin and then offer it into the housing. Like so, and then insert it, and then pull the seal up like so. So that's all nice and clean now, smooth, and we'll do the same for this one here. Same again, pull it off. Put a little bit on this side of this one. And then pull it down over the top. Or take it right out, it's up to you. And then set it in, pull it up, pull the boot over the top. That's it, nice and smooth. Okay. We also need to put a little bit on these faces here, bit of grease, not too much, because you want to be careful to and wipe it off on this face here, because when you put it over the rotor, you don't want it to rub on the rotor and actually get all over the rotor. So just a little smear, not a lot. And just wipe the inside so that you don't get any on the rotor when you put it over the top. Okay, so just wipe that off. Right, I'll get some copper coat. put a little bit of copper coat on these bolts here. I usually prep them all at once, and then once that's done you can put the copper coat away. You just need it on the start of the thread, you don't have to go all the way up because it will wind its way up. Okay, that's one. Two. Three. Four. Right. Okay, now we'll put our disc retainer in. Goes like so, slides over the top like that. So we want our big bolts for this one, and I start by actually sitting one bolt in there, not protruding through, just to back a fraction, slide it over, and then you can see the bolt to line it up. Get that one started and then move on to the bottom one. And we'll do these up first and then move on to the next stage. Nice and tight, about 40 foot-pounds, 35 to 40 foot-pounds. Okay, now we're going to put our shoes back in. We'll put a little bit of grease on the back side of these, just anywhere where there's friction, not too much because you don't want it going onto the lining itself. And the same with the other one. This is just a rubber noise suppressor, really. I mean, if you want to, you can buy new shoes, but these are fine, so I'm not going to bother. Okay, so we'll just carefully insert those down like so on an angle, and then push against the tensioner. Set it in place. Okay, and then the same with the other one. Okay, slide your caliper over the top. Now, as you know, we pulled it all back so it was nice and clear. Just push the sliders in so that it's all good. Spin them around so that they sit nice, and then offer one up at a time. Slide the bolt up so that you've got one lined up. Give it a bit of a wiggle to get it lined up. Don't cross thread it. Okay. Right, now you're gonna need your little side long nose pliers just to line this up and keep it lined up. Just while you're doing it up. So you don't want to leave any bolts loose, otherwise it'll fly to bits and you'll end up having a major accident. Especially if one of these flies off and jams a wheel up, you're going to end up sideways in the ditch or into an oncoming car. Okay, this bottom one done. Okay, right, that should still move. Now we'll go into the vehicle and pump the brakes about 5 times just to compress it and get everything all tensioned up. We'll give that a last spray. And let that evaporate off. That'll all evaporate off in the air. So we'll just give the brakes a couple of five pumps or so. It should go nice and hard. So 10 goes. Just check to make sure your road is still clear. Yep, very good. So all I've got to do is bleed this one because I have replaced all the fluid in the other two on the other side. So I'm going to be replacing all the fluid in this caliper and line with the brand new brake fluid. So I'll do that later, and when the good wife gets home, and she'll give me a hand to do that, and then I can get onto the back. Right, that's pretty much it really. So once you've done that, if you're not doing the bleeding the brakes or replacing the brake fluid, which I do suggest you do once every time you're doing this job, it's just as easy to clear the brake lines and bleed it all, because brake fluid only lasts a good 12 months, but a lot of vehicles don't ever get done, and you get a lot of moisture in the braking system, especially with a lot of high temperature braking, because all the heat from the caliper goes into the fluid and puts little boils it, basically semi-boils it, or hot spots, and with water in there you get poor hydraulic pressure, so that's why your brakes might get weak. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I hope it's showed you something.